So let's move on to the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Now, we've seen this come to a crescendo in recent weeks with the push to release the files, the hesitation from Republicans, which turned into capitulation as the shutdown ended and Mike Johnson swore in a new Arizona representative, Adelaide Grijalva. They had the votes to push this discharge petition forward, demanding release of the Epstein files. So, of course, last week we saw Trump flip and say, I've got nothing to hide, go ahead, release all the files. And, then this week, we saw Congress overwhelmingly pass, and Trump signed legislation compelling the Department of Justice to release its files on Epstein. Now, under the law, the DOJ has 30 days to produce documents, though, big though, redactions are allowed. Meanwhile, the DOJ formally asked a grand jury to unseal long secret grand jury testimony connected to Epstein and his associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, which could shed new light on the network of enablers and powerful figures tied to the case. Also, scrutiny intensified on several high-profile individuals. 2 longtime aides to Epstein, his lawyer and accountant, are facing civil claims for years of enabling his operations. Survivors of Epstein's abuse are sounding the alarm about growing threats and fearing the event that even the forthcoming document dump might be gutted if too much gets redacted. In all, the scandal has shifted from dormant to operational. It's no longer about what Epstein did, but who helped him and who might yet be exposed. Along those lines, we saw this week that Larry Summers, former Obama advisor, former Clinton advisor, very, very prominent economist, announced he is taking leave from Harvard after his name appeared a lot in Epstein files that we saw recently. I also wanted to mention along these lines, if we recall when the government was reopened, that there was a clause in there allowing certain U.S. senators whose phone records had been subpoenaed in relation to the January 6th investigation. The House did repeal that provision this week, which I wanted to throw in, not entirely Epstein related, but it's something that the House was doing. So, and one of the Republican dissenters who led the charge to release the Epstein files, along with Thomas Massie, along with Nancy Mace, along with Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, announced in a wake of her very public breakup with the president that she will be leaving Congress in January. So, thoughts on this week in Epstein? Jennifer, what do you got?
Quite a lot happened in a week. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I don't think that's too much of a surprise with her speaking out. She'd been heading that way for a while. I was surprised that she is resigning, just because, like I said, so much has just happened in such a short amount of time, but obviously it makes sense. I mean, I wonder where she's going to pop up, though. I think that's one of the big questions of where she's going to pop up. She seems like she could do just about anything, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see her with her own show or something. She definitely has put herself in the position of being somebody who can gather some support and weasel her way in there.
Speaking of kayfabe, right now, Marge Greene is not an honest broker, I don't think. What do you make of the MTG face turn?
Well, okay, so she was actively pushing for the release of the Epstein files. Mm-hmm. So let's address that first. And one of the things that she'd said was that she would stand up in front of Congress, where she has immunity, and list all the names that are in the Epstein files. she was just going to make a list and read them out so everybody knew what they were. She is immune from slander and defamation suits if she does it as an official act in Congress. Now, the fact she's leaving after the
after her pension kicks in.
Well, yeah, she leaves the day after, or the day after when her pension kicks in. Whether she's going to actually show up and read all those names once the documents are released, I hope she does, because that's the promise she made.
Mm-hmm.
But the timing obviously looks very self-serving, so she gets her pension and she bows.
I guess that will tell if she shows up to, you know.
Here's the rumor on the street is it's just in time for her to file to run for governor of Georgia. So that's where we expect her to land, at least initially, campaigning in the governor's race. But her breakup from Trump, it's actually been kind of amusing, because all of a sudden, once she broke with Trump, she then started what the normal people were saying, and all the complaints were pretty much the same thing everybody on the left has been complaining about. So it's almost comical from that perspective that she's gone into that mode. But she sees the writing on the wall, and I don't know if they threatened her with being primaried. They definitely threatened Boebert with being primaried. And then lastly, the other thing about the files they're going to release, anything that is part of an active investigation. And remember, Trump has asked Pam Bondi to investigate all the Democrats in the...
Yeah.
So all that information will be withheld because it's under an active investigation. So we're not going to find out if Bill Clinton really is Bubba, or whether it was or if it was somebody else.
There's a lot of Bubbas out there, I think.
Yeah. What's going to happen? And I think you nailed it, Simon. Is that we're never ever gonna see any of this. I mean, this is all a big play fight. Trump is not going to face accountability. We're not going to see his name in these files. If anything, right, like you said, they're going to block this. They're going to say an active investigation's going on. We can't release anything. If they do release anything, they're going to copy paste Trump's name, and it's just going to say in like bold all caps, Barack Hussein Obama, all throughout these Epstein files. That's my guess what's going to happen here. All throughout the 90s, Barack Hussein Obama was best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, and they totally, had Mar-a-Lago parties together.
Well,
right?
I mean, it's possible, in theory, but I mean, in practice, his name has not come up previously. Bill Clinton's has, but then again, they've been able to show that Bill Clinton never went to the island. He went on fundraising trips around the US on the plane. So
I do not trust anything that comes out of this DOJ.
Well, we need another WikiLeaks. That's what we need. Is like they dump Hillary's emails and the Podesta files, and so we need something like that with the Epstein files. We just need somebody to leak it all.
It's ironic that you bring up like Hillary's emails, because we found out last week that New York Times reporters Jeffrey Epstein was talking to, he was offering them dirt on Donald Trump, and they were nah, we don't want to print that. We're going to talk about Hillary's emails some more, like right in the weeks leading up to the election. Yeah. That was mind-boggling. Jennifer, did you have any final thoughts on this?
Is it mind-boggling, though? I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if anything comes out. One day, hopefully in our lifetime, we'll learn more. It's the talk of the town these days, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's how many years? 70 years later now, almost, the JFK assassination. We still don't know the truth about that. I don't. Maybe
that's exactly
by the time
you're dead,
we'll see something about the Epstein files.
Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Was that? Yeah.